Hello everybody, my name is Quiddly and welcome back to the FRS Championship Season 6. This is of course Division 3 and we are in the surprisingly sunny Great Britain. This is Silverstone, and our biggest strategy call of the day is the pit lane at around 27 to 30 seconds, the largest loss of any pit stop on the calendar. At 5.8 kilometers as well, it is very long and is quite damaging on those tires as well, especially with those high elevation changes and the very fast chicanes. Here we go. There are facts of the evening. Silverstone, one of only 3 to host a season finale. Of course, not our season finale this way round. Now, Brooklands being one of the slower corners on the track, definitely a place for some overtake action though, as it comes right after the DRS straight. Stowe as well coming after the DRS just after Megas and Beckett's. A lot of overtakes happening. There are lots of places for overtakes to happen, but there's also a lot of places for mistakes. So, your usual soft, medium and hard tires. Let's see how far they go through laps. 8 laps on softs, 14 on medium and 18 on hards. Not a big gap between the hards and mediums. So there will be a lot of decisions having to be made in those engineering calls on Discord. But those are the facts, and I can hear them racing into the background. And as we see our lovely Drivers' Championship there, our Ferrari of Mazda on P1, let's get right into the action. And here we go. Hello, I'm joined of course by the lovely Space Ghost here in the definitely a studio.
Good evening. Pleasure to be here as always.
Hello. Now I have to do my usual start of the session, changing of all the menus and everything.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a Codemasters game if everything was sat there ready and waiting for you. I think we've actually got a little bit of racing on the outlap between Ruprath and Pathman.
Yes, I can see that.
Desperate to be the first car out. Looks like Ruprath has won that little race.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we actually have Blackbird is actually our first car on a hot lap here. He will be setting the time to beat for everyone else. Let's see if it's a banker or if it's actually a actual flying hot lap.
It's going to be interesting. I'm aware that the McLaren boys have been practicing the toe, and by the looks of things, it looks like Tez might be putting himself in a position to give Pathman a toe. But he's going to have to be careful with those other cars on hot laps around him.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars. There's a Haas and an Alpine behind him, so he's kind of stuck in the middle there. So Blackbird's going to be the first driver to zoom through cops. Claimed a few lives already this evening, myself included.
So getting a few mumblings in the Div 3 channel that the race is showing wet but dry on the timestamps, so be prepared for mixed conditions when we get to the race.
I will say Silverstone is one of my favourite tracks in the wet. I feel like it's very weirdly suited for wet racing.
It does look like Pathman and Tess have set up reasonably well for a slipstream,
but Blackbird
well
will
executed.
Be the first person around and onto the finish line 128. So let's jump onto. I think it was the first. It's Pathman going to be the first across the line of the McLarens. Ruprath beats Blackbird. Does Pathman beat him again? Ooh, he does not. But only, what's that, a few hundredths of a second between our
18 thousandths between P3 and P2. I'll be honest, the purple is messing with my eyes today. I can't actually read it against the sky.
Yeah, I was about to say, it is very difficult to read at the moment.
That's a 27891, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's almost a full second. That's...
Civic only 400ths of a second. There.
Feels like we might have a very familiar feeling to Div 4's qualifying yesterday, where you've got a whole bunch of people all tightened up and then one person who's just made those steps ahead, but obviously remains to be seen.
Yeah. We obviously have a new driver as well today. Our Gewoon Jamie in the Ferrari, taking over from Opa Mendes for this weekend.
We've also got a new old driver returning in EAG, I believe. Our
Yes.
Division 5 champion from last
Yes.
season. Picked up the game in the recent Steam sales and is back on the track. Be interesting to see where they come with, obviously.
He was very, very fast last season, but of course, he's only had a day's practice on the game itself, never mind on Silverstone.
I mean, yeah, he was fast, not the fastest in his division, but what punctuated his drives was his consistency.
Yeah.
Consistently plugging in reasonable points, rather than, I believe he was up against. Oh,
He was up against.
Was it Whitworth? Madster, that was it. Whose season was punctuated by DNFs.
Yeah, Mazda had a few unfortunate DNFs at the latter stages. And yeah, I'd say at least on 3 separate occasions, he got P1 after the race due to penalties from the stewards. So it was literally his consistency and clean driving that won him the championship last season.
We could have a similar situation in Div 4 from yesterday. I could inherit the P1 depending on what happens with situations, as EAG does come over the line and get a P9. So not back of those who have set times, but not far off. I expect to see them improve over time though.
Trying to find someone who is on a hot lap here, and I'm finding it hard to. I think Tez is on a hot lap, but he is going slow.
Callum is up on his time through Sector 2, but he's also low on battery and going wide at cops, so don't expect to necessarily see them improve though. Saying that, I set my fastest lap yesterday with my battery dead, so I guess we'll see.
He is still barely up on his time.
Nah, he's lifted now.
Yeah, you got purple Sector 2 there, ironically.
Interesting that he's lifting and warming the tyres rather than just gunning it all the way back to the pit entry, but
he might be trying to go again.
But why would you go again with 6% in your battery? Yeah. You'd want to recharge, right?
Maybe he's just really trying to salvage those tyres.
Yeah. EAG's up on his time as well, but again, flat battery. He'll probably watch that Delta bleed away now. But it all depends on how poor his last lap was. He's coming in. So we'll have... It'll be Blackbird will be the next driver hot, but he's currently on an outlap. And then you got Pathman on an outlap.
Everyone on an outlap or in the pits.
Civic and Riprath.
Also, apologies if my voice breaks. Hello, I'm just after a 6-hour D&D session. So it's quite tired, but I will try my best, as always. And Blackbird going to be the
both a bit tired.
First driver across the line to start his hot lap. Very nicely through turn 1 there, which I've completely forgotten the name of.
It is interesting that we've got no Merc drivers today, seemingly. I mean, I would say Renovatio, based on your pace yesterday, do just jump in the session. You are okay to sub up. I can double check with Pathman, you'll be allowed in, but I'm 99% certain you would be if you're free to race.
Blackbird is coming up on the back of, I believe, Tez, who is on an outlap, and Tez does get out of his way very nicely. Blackbird through a bit wide, but keeps it just within track limits there, and there's coming. I did not notice his sector 1 time. I'm going to take a bit of more notice in the sector 2 time. It is a bit shaky through Michaels and Beckett's, but was it fast? He is a 10th and a half up on his time. Moment. That should actually put him quite a few places up because the grid is so close together. Oh, he's actually aborted. He's aborted. Oh, he went wide. I did not notice that. I was looking at the leaderboard there, excuse me, but Patman Men coming through Vale, as I now know it's Vale. Let's see, as he comes across the line and goes P2! Great improvement, 0.7 of a second improvement from the McLaren driver there as MML improves
again
on his already provisional pole time.
This does feel very, very familiar.
He has to get out of the way of Tez, which he does. Very nicely done there.
Yeah, Tez got very close to Ripbroth on his hot lap. That's why you heard me sort of audibly go, oof, because Tez didn't really have anywhere he could hide away from Ripbroth as he came up to, I'm not going to be able to name the corner, the pit entry corner. And yes, do feel free to call me out in response, Squids, for me complaining about you not knowing the corner names yesterday.
They were one after the other. I said Vale instead of Stove.
Well, I was supposed to say Vale, so double embarrassment for me, because I should have known after yesterday. But I mean, well, we're following on with Tez, aren't we, at the moment? Seeing how he can do with Pathman there, ready to give the tow.
There is
very close.
Let's see where he is in Sector 2. He is barely up, but it is a purple Sector 2.
Might be the Sector 2 bug, to be fair. We were seeing those yesterday a lot.
Got the tow from his teammate there. Let's see how much of an improvement that can give him as he crosses the line.
It's 0.071 up. Obviously, he got the tow last time round as well. But
half a second between P1 and P2, I'm just noticing.
Tez jumps to P6.
Very nice.
Just above Jamie.
He's exactly Jamie. I don't know why Jamie isn't being given that P6 slot. He got it before Tez.
Makes you wonder whether under the hood the game does time it at a finer margin than what's shown on the board, because it should be that if you're identical, then you go in order of who set the time first. But
there may be some
just Cody's things.
No, we haven't had many AlphaTauris on the broadcast recently, so let's jump on board with Callum as he goes through his hot lap here into the DRS zone. He might be on an in lap actually, because he has barely any battery left. But I'm not sure there. I think Mazda is on a hot lap though. Yeah, he is 1/10 up on his personal best. Mazda, a formidable challenger, I'd say, in this division. But Ruprat is definitely putting on a show with half a second between himself and P2. Which is nearly the same gap between P2 and P3. So, let's hope it's a bit closer by the end of the session.
I'm just watching some of the other drivers, and it does look like Fuki is just doing laps. Probably not got enough practice in this week and just trying to get his eye in and is just doing laps.
Mansa is 3.5 tenths up on his time. That might, if he continues to improve here through Sector 3, that might pick him onto the front row. Ooh, a bit of a weird glitch there. Car going across the track briefly. And Mansa does just get onto the front row. But it just shows you how dominant Ruprat is being in this qualifying position, that mega lap from Mazda is still, what's that, nearly 5 tenths?
I believe Mazda said this track was his specialty as well, so, you know, that lap from Ruprat has really caught them all out, I think.
Ruprat, I believe, actually won, or he did very well in the Div 2 race recently. So he's another driver who is definitely showing his pace in the upper divisions.
Now we're going to see a couple of compromised laps from Blackbird and Fuki, because Blackbird actually started his quali lap behind Fuki and finished it in front of him. Fuki improves, Blackbird does not, so not much movement there.
But with 3 minutes left on the session, Patman, I believe, on his last flying lap, just starting now.
Yep. So you got Tez starting his outlap now. So yeah, they're doing the toe again. Looks like they've managed to execute it reasonably well. Looking at their middle sector, not middle sector, sorry, final sector times.
They seem to be trying to time it to get the toe in the last DRS, and to be the key.
Yeah, I mean it allows them to both effectively get a toe because Tez will give Pathman the toe. Pathman will go on and finish his lap, then Tez will start his hot lap, and by the time Tez catches up to Pathman, it will be in the same sector again.
Yeah.
So it's the only real place to do it if you want to, if you like, share the wealth between the two cars, because it gives enough time.
As Tez lets Blackbird, I believe, go there just after Cops, probably waiting for his teammate.
Pathman is a fraction up.
Speak of the devil, and he shut up here. Renovatio has joined the session.
Headache can't keep him down. I reckon he's only got a headache because of all the champagne after yesterday.
I don't think he won't be able to set a time, I believe. So he will start.
I can start back. Pace he was showing.
Yeah.
Because I think his pace yesterday would be enough for P4 on the current grid.
Yeah.
There is a ghost car just in Vale and Club that flicks up, doesn't it?
Oh, Pathman.
As Pathman increases by 2/10.
Front row there. And Mansa in the pits at the moment. But he's
not going to have enough time.
Mansa is coming out of the pits right now. You'll have to...
Yeah, but Tez is hot. He'll have to get out of the way.
Yeah. And he won't be able to warm those tires. So I think Mansa has just about got this wrong. He's still not out of the pits. He's only a minute 15 as he comes across the pit limiter line.
Meanwhile, Jamie is directly in front of Tez and not paying attention.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate. He is holding up Tez on a hot lap.
Yeah.
He's out the way now.
Yeah.
That wasn't ideal though.
Costing him time there. Let's jump onto Tez and see how much that may have cost him, but I think his teammate is still waiting for him up ahead.
Well, Tez actually did get a little bit of an advantage because he actually got a toe down the other straight. So, did the amount that he was disrupted through Luffield get made up for by the advantage of being able to follow that Ferrari down that? Let's
see.
Not going to be able to remember which straight it is. Is it Wellington? Wellington Straight.
Wellington, yes.
Tez is literally up by 9 thousandths.
There we go. It was a very nice toe down that straight there. Rumrat improves even more. That is 6/10 to Pathman as it stands. Oh my god. Oh, Tez has a moment through the final corner. Oh, and he does not improve. That may...
It's worth bearing in mind that Tez is running with no assists whatsoever.
Yeah.
Did Tez cross the line before the light went out? Because it looks like he's trying to double push.
He may give it a go. I'm not sure. I think it... I saw it flicker right as he crossed the line. He may have just...
He is on a lap. He hasn't got the checkered flag.
Yeah. He may be trying to... Let's see if he's up. He is up.
Yeah, he's half a second up. Yeah, so that Ferrari did really cost him.
Yeah.
That's why he's going for the double push then.
Yeah. I don't blame him. Last lap, might as well.
He won't be able to take advantage of a toe.
So 0.5 of a second.
We should probably not be quite so McLaren focused. Let's have a quick glance at the other cars who are on track. We've got Civic running through sector 2. I believe we've got the...
We also have Jamie now on a hot lap as he comes through Maggots Beckett's. Oh, and he's invalidated through Maggots and Beckett's. That is unfortunate for Jamie.
There's still 4/10 up. And he's not actually managed to run out of battery. I wonder if he shut it off for strategic parts of the lap to keep him having it up that back straight.
Comes through
so for Tez, it's probably going to be what could have been, because I think his middle sector time will not be as impressive as it could have been.
Let's see where it puts him.
P5.
Is not. Oh, it does improve slightly. But,
considering he did that with half a battery.
Yeah, very impressive.
You can be happy with that. Renovatio did make it for an outlap, but I think it's going. It won't let him. But the moment he crosses the line, it will auto retire him. I just think that obviously he's joined quite late. He's not aware of what happens when you join particularly late.
We will also have a bit of an interesting shake-up in the broadcast formation app now. So our drivers will be starting on warmer tires than they have previously in the other races on the dead cold tires from before.
Yeah.
So may help a few people who are, a better starter. Or maybe they have a better traction control. I could see Tez potentially missing out on a few places at the start here. No assists, and everyone having warm tires, like they may just breeze past him. Oh ho ho!
And that's an AI car, mate. That's an AI car because has he got the glitch with the timing screen? Has that seriously returned? Hang on.
I do not know, but Renovation. Oh, there we go. It has stopped.
Is it going to auto finish? And yeah, okay, yeah, fine.
But I believe he was in control for a part of that. But your final order in qualifying is MMO Rough Rat with a frankly dominating display in qualifying. Once he got P1, he kept it and improved about twice more after his first hot lap. And is 6/10 to P2 Patman, and then Madsen and Callum with a very impressive qualifying there to getting onto the second row. Tez, Civic, Jamie, Blackbirds, Brad Spit, and Iag rounding out the top 10. Fuki and Delta, the last of the finish runners, and Renovatio not setting any time due to a late joining. But do keep an eye on that Mercedes in the back. He has the pace to make up. So let's see what the weather is like. If we do have wet, it may be dry to start with, but if the weather is to be trusted, we could have a bit of rain going on. Ooh, it does seem dry at the moment.
Well, at least the loading screen is dry. I like the half attempt from Codemasters to immerse you by putting the drivers' names on the garages and sort of the little pictures. I do think it's a shame that they don't just blank off the ones where there's no one present, rather than leaving
George Russell.
George Russell.
I do like how you can see the NPC rich snobs up there in their paddock club passes.
Yes, with their stock and synchronized clapping animations.
So,
there you go again. All of them, all clapping at the same time.
No, I shouldn't say that. I know someone who works in Heineken, so I may get a paddock pass at some point. So don't want to ruin my chances.
We've got the broadcast formation lap. Is there any chance you can grab the game sound and shut Crofty up, or shall we listen to his dulcet tones?
In here, he's very quiet for me. We can listen to him.
So good. We've got interesting tyre choices. The full gamut in the top four with the top four drivers.
Our front row starting on hard tyres as well.
Yeah, brace yourself into turn one, boys.
Yeah, especially since Mansa is on the softs right behind them. He is going to be...
I think it's Callum on the softs.
Oh, is it?
We'll see in a second, won't we? There's a Haas on the hards. There's a McLaren on the hards.
Yeah,
there's the Ferrari on the mediums. And then there's Callum on the softs. So, yeah.
You're right.
2, 3, 4, hard, medium, soft. And they shall all collect each other into turn one.
Go.
I mean, wait, no.
Silverstone Ferris wheel in the background. Get ready to start. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're off. And, who gets a good start here? I think Patman actually got a very good start. So the Massa Ruprat is going down the order. Oh, he dives out the inside of Patman. Oh, and a bit of an end place is going off into the first corner there as Iag was bound to the back of the grid. Renovation made off a few places and is immediately tumbling down the order. And it's a safety car.
Went round and Renovation got caught and lost his front wing.
Is that an immediate safety car? It may be
I think it's a VSC.
Yeah.
It's a VSC. You're going to want to cool those tyres back down, Renovation, mate.
Ooh. So, Ruprat has dropped to P3. Madsen and Callum now in front of them. And Patman has also dropped now. I believe he had a bit of a moment in turn 1. He got sandwiched there between Callum and Ruprat. And
I think
it cost him a bit of time.
into turn 1, Callum was taking a very acute angle. He was right up against the pit wall.
Yeah.
He managed to get himself alongside Pathman. And because Callum kept it in, Pathman then had to sort of give a little bit more room at the apex, and then it just sort of concertinaed all the way back, resulting in a few losses. But no contact, which is the important thing. All cars still running. Now everyone gets to play with the Delta and see whether they can get themselves a drive-through penalty. But fingers crossed, guys.
We are in green flag racing at the moment. Aboard here with Civic as he's right behind the Haas of Ruprat. Still full battery.
As a Ferrari pits, so it looks like Jamie might have taken some damage in that melee.
Civic is having a look on the inside here. Oh, as Fuki gets our first penalty of the day.
Speeding in the pit lane. This is a track which catches a lot of people out into the pit lane.
Yeah.
Because A, the racing line is wrong, and B, it is the lowest speed limit on the calendar.
Yeah. Was it 60 kilometers an hour?
Yes. As I learned, as I braked for it yesterday, and I was like, oh, I'm down to 80, I'm fine. Wait, no.
It was a whole 20 kilometers an hour slower than the usual pace. And the ratio still not
wrong.
To the back
Feels
of the
wrong.
grid.
It looks like Ruprath is struggling to heat up those hard tyres. He's losing
Yeah.
time to Callum and Madster, and he has Civic sniffing at him.
Yeah, Civic has been kind of sniffing at him for the entirety of this lap. I think he's been burning a bit of that ERS just to keep away from him.
That's the question, isn't it? Does he want to just hook him behind if he feels like his tyre won't support him? Or does he want to get him up to temperature and see if he can stretch his legs a little? I'll be honest, with like the 6/10 or whatever it was that we saw in qualifying, I think he wants to stay out in front.
Oh, and Patman and Brad Spitt going side by side into Stove. Oh, and Batman just goes around the outside and keeps the position, but I think Brad Spitt's going to try and go on the inside into Vale. Good defending there by the McLaren. But we might get the switch back into turn 1. Great angle, Cody, so we can really see everything that's happening. Oh, a bit of contact maybe.
A little front left to side pod action there, but nothing that's out of order. Just fortunate that the Cody's physics decided to keep everyone in a straight line. But this fight is costing them.
Yeah, definitely.
Silverstone, it's critical to keep yourself hooked into the DRS train if you can.
Speaking
and it looks like
Civic
Brad Spitt's
has
fight
it on Rat, and he just glides past him down the Wellington Straight.
And directly behind, it looks like Brad Spitt is now up the inside of... Oh no, Pathman's hanging it out.
Oh, the defending, he's breaking that just tiny bit later there, side by side now.
He'll get better drive out down towards...
yes, he will.
Down to Cops.
But if Pathman can keep it behind, he'll have the DRS coming out of Maggots and Beckett's. Here. I think Tez is also just trying to keep within that slipstream of his teammate as well. That DRS train. Let's go on board here with Pathman.
It is worth noting that we've still got these split strategies. So if we had a late safety car, people like Ruprath, Tez and Pathman are in the driver's seats. If we have an earlier safety car, then Callum wins out. And if it happens in the middle, then people like Madster and Civic will probably benefit more.
Pathman is keeping within a few tenths of Brad Spish. This could be an interesting battle here in the middle of the pack. Oh, and as I say that, Pathman has a bit of a moment coming into the final corner, and he has now lost that DRS gap. Oh, he's actually just...
He can recover it, he can recover it. It's not lost yet.
Let's see, I don't think he's within that 1 second before the timing line. No, he's
Sector
not.
1 here is one of those sectors where a little bit of unconventional ERS deployment can pull you back into that DRS window, but it looks like that Pathman didn't quite manage to get that resolved.
Yeah, Callum is actually making the most of those soft tires. He's making life very difficult for Mazda at the moment.
I'm not sure if it's a fight Madster needs to worry about, to be completely honest.
He just has to
Let him
wait those
past
tires
and
out.
just I mean, it all depends on what fuel loads people decided to put on. Silverstone's a track this year where you regain fuel over the course of the race, but if you've chosen to fuel particularly low, then
Yellow
sitting
flag,
in the
that's
spits round.
Brad Spit gone round.
P8 is where you want to be if you want to see him.
Ooh,
He's gone already.
Yeah. He seems to have just spun coming out of cops, but managed to keep it on track, which is very impressive with the amount of speed you have coming into cops.
As Madster now has Callum overtaking him, they're going up towards...
But Mazda is fighting it. Mazda isn't letting this go, which, in my opinion, he should. Like you said, like, just let him go past. His tires will degrade way faster, and you'll get the lead back.
I think we've literally only got one and a half laps left of good running on those softs.
Yeah. They are very, they go very quickly around Silverstone. It's definitely a high degradation track. A lot of turns. Yellow flag again.
Yellow sector 1, that's Civic round. Civic, careful on your rejoin, mate. He's okay. Sorry, I saw the cars closing through sector 1 and I thought they were going to be faster than they were. He's back on track with Blackbird just within DRS behind him.
Interestingly enough, Renovatio is now in the points in P8, but he is still way off everyone else. He's in a bit of a no man's land there.
After lap 1 though, he was a good 14 seconds off the back of the pack, so to be where he is now, mighty impressive driving.
He's definitely like a lot of his DNS this season having sort of things outside of his control. He's a very...
we've got Madster coming onto the hangar straight, and Callum got a really poor exit, so it might be that Madster takes it back immediately after.
He's definitely going for it. And he glides past him on those medium tires before they even make it into stove. Very good.
And Delta picks up our first corner cut penalty. I'm going to have a look.
I think Fuki has already served his 5 seconds in the pits. He has 2 stops made already on the back of the grid.
But not a lap down yet.
No. Actually not.
It's the two is it Williams and Alpine? Oh no, it's the two Alpines. No, I'm just being an idiot. Ignore me.
Williams and Alpine and Red Bull and all the blue pairs.
Fuki is a lap down.
Okay.
I just thought that Fuki and Iag were running nose to tail, and clearly I just can't read the timing screen. Iag is having a fight with Delta right at the back though.
Yeah. Could make up that place. Iag on his return to the FRS. Definitely putting in a bit of a show racecraft wise. Maybe not pace wise, but that is to be expected as a guy who literally picked up the game yesterday.
Civic's made his way back past Blackbird. It looks like Ruprath has joined the party up front on those hard tyres. Madster and Callum fighting has brought him back into contention.
Yeah, and those tyres will go for way longer than the ones in front.
We do have a flashing light on the back of Callum's car, so it looks like he's fought hard for
to keep that
to keep the position. Just behind this three-way battle, we've got Pathman and Tez, who look like they're just playing the team game, plugging those laps away.
Definitely. Let's jump on board with Rough Rat. He kind of views this fight ahead of him.
Looks like Madster's low on battery as well. He had the flashing light as well.
Yeah, definitely had to defend a few laps anyways. Before we go in there, Iag is getting very close to the back of Delta again. He gets a very nice line out of back of the Beckett's and the DRS, and this should be easy for the Alpine. Yeah, it just glides into P11. Let's jump on board with the Haas again. It's becoming a bit of a three-way fight for the lead of the race, though I don't expect Callum to be there for very much longer. 6 laps on those soft tires, they'll be going away very soon, I think.
At this point, we wish we had got Raymond's little plug-in so we could see when that supposed rain that we saw yesterday is going to come, but it doesn't look like there's anything yet.
Nothing yet that we've heard anyways from our drivers.
The only hint we got was that someone saw rain on the radar yesterday. Delta picks up another 3 seconds.
Not having a lot of fun in the Maggots and Beckets in the road. They're very fast corners, so definitely easy to pick up track limits. Ruppert getting so close to the back of Madsen now.
And Mazda's basically in the gearbox of the AlphaTauri in front. It's got to be this straight.
No. Let's see. He seems to be holding off. He definitely didn't seem to be sniffing them out.
But Callum is not able to reach an apex for love nor money now. Those tyres are crying.
I just watching Ruppert now, I don't think he's going as fast as he could. I think he's
biding.
Yeah, he's biding his time right now. As I say that, he is very much on the gearbox of Mazda.
Is he just trying to scare Mazda? Because if he was actually going to try a move there, that is optimistic.
Yeah.
Though to be fair, good exit here, he could take them both. He's using that battery that the other two don't have.
He's definitely going to try and get past Mazda anyways.
Is he going to be able to switch back to the inside? Oh, so close to losing his front wing.
Oh, so close to the front, or the back, sorry, I'll count him there, but you know, if I was Ruppert, I would just bide my time, because those Callum's tires are screaming at the moment at 8 laps old. Or 9 laps now. Let's take a look at the tires actually.
Oh, they are so close.
But if Ruppert does like bide his time, or even just decides to fight, he'll start losing time to Pac-Man behind, who is also on those hard tires and has definitely been sort of chilling with his teammates. They're just waiting for the front runners to make a mistake.
Both those McLarens are just sort of happily plugging away.
Yeah.
Civic hasn't managed to make many inroads into them because he hasn't got the DRS. As we've got a yellow in sector 1. That's
seems to be an Alp. What is that?
It's a Lats. It's a Iag or Fuki. It'll be Fuki.
Unfortunately, Fuki not having a great race, unfortunately.
And Blackbird has managed to get himself right, get back on the. Where's my word salad? Blackbird has got himself right on the back of Civic again.
Yeah,
after being overtaken.
Of a second there. He might try and get a bit of a DRS now down this straight, which I've completely forgotten the name of.
That is the Hangar Straight.
Hangar Straight, thank you.
Named because this used to be an airfield.
Yeah, I didn't know that actually. It's not my home track, so. And Callum finally pits off those soft tires on 8 laps old. Oh, Blackbird getting very close to the back of Civic there as they come down through Vale towards the Hamilton Straight. I do remember that one.
So now we might be seeing Ruppert having a go at Mazda. Now Mazda's on his own, and Civic picks up a 3-second time penalty, that could be critically important towards the end.
Yeah, especially with him being smack bang in the middle of the pack. It's very, very bad time for him to get it.
So we saw Ruppert not able to make much of an impression, short of that one attempt on Mazda while he had DRS. Now Mazda does continue. We continue to see his light flashing every now and then, and I'm pretty certain we haven't seen a flashing light on with Pathman yet. So
Ruppert does have about half of his battery left, as we can see there, just on his wheel. So if
Delta's picking up as many time penalties as Apexes.
Oh, now Ruppert's going to have DRS and overtake button through this final corner with the red flashing light of the Ferrari.
And interestingly, Pathman has now started to pick up DRS on Mazda.
Yep. That fighting between those three is definitely let Pathman catch up. He was about 2 seconds off the back of the Haas only a lap or two ago. And now
it
he's
does
been in
look like
3 tenths.
Pathman's been sort of pulling his punches in terms of lap time.
Oh, and fastest lap
to
there
keep
for
Tez. Are they going full deploy to catch up? They now want a bit.
They may have decided
thought
that.
about it.
Yeah. Well, I like the Irish flag in the stands there. Very nice. Even though there's no Irish drivers at the moment.
So we now have a 4-way fight for the lead.
Tez is nearly out of that DRS though, Patman.
I think with the front three fighting, he'll be able to
keep it in
pick it up.
Yeah. For the ratio into P7 as well. But very nice comeback ride by him. He's just keeping it nice and clean and consistent. A lot of a lift there from Patman, but less than just 0.2 of a second to the Ferrari.
Mazda's out of battery again. He's
and
flashing
Mazda's
again
mediums might just be feeling it a little at 10 laps in. Not
should
dying
get
off, but I'd say maybe feeling a little bit of wear.
Mine yesterday weren't feeling that bad. They didn't feel that bad, and then I looked on the tyre screen and it said 70. Oh, it's
Rupprat gone round. That is Rupprat gone round into Stove. Oh,
he's gone all the way down to P6.
That is unfortunate. And now it has become a bit of it's become a three-way fight for the lead, but it's become a bit of a McLaren show. As they can really
we've got
gang
Blackbird
up.
round as well. I didn't see what went on, but Ruprath has got past Blackbird, who is off the track.
He spun
but
there
down my
into
club.
Just past Vale.
How about a bit of late 90s, early 2000s action? McLaren v Ferrari.
Yes, please.
Let Pathman and Tez argue about who's Hakkinen and who's Coulthard.
Well, none of them are finished, so we'll see. We'll see who takes this sabbatical. I am loving this. They're only a few tenths off each other at the moment, and it's just it's a great battle for the lead. It's been a game of chicken, I'd say, a lot of this race.
So Ruprath on his onboard now appears to be driving angry.
Patman is going to take a look on the outside, going into Stove. Oh, and Mazda seems to just let him go, actually.
I would, those mediums. I'd rather take the advantage of the DRS for the last few laps.
No, Tez is actually within that, he's within only a tenth or two now of the Ferrari.
It's just me, or have those clouds gotten darker?
They have gotten slightly darker, but we are in Britain, so that's just how it is. Oh, is that a car spinning coming out of the pits? Or car going slowly coming out of the pits?
They might have just slowed themselves down coming down the pits, seeing the cars were coming. Renovation gets 5 seconds! Speeding in the pit lane. Managed to avoid it yesterday. Mazda is out of the DRS on Pathman, interestingly.
Ooh, yes, he is. And also, Mazda will have no qualms about taking that gap for Tez, because Pathman, I'd say, was definitely trying to, keep his teammate in the fight, but, Mazda has no qualms about that.
Civic, Mazda and Blackbird still out on those mediums. Now I can say I boxed, was it lap 14, lap 15 yesterday? And my front left was at 72%.
It was screaming.
So it was crying, but it was still putting in the lap time, so I was happy. But let's see how daring these guys are. We know Civic has taken tyres to...
flashing light of Ferrari. Oh, that's not where you want to be going, Tez, but he managed to actually make it stick. And
I just wanted to pick up a bit of grass on the way through.
Yes. And we are currently in a 1-2 on these McLarens, though I believe they have not stopped yet. Oh, I've gone past the stops. Mazda has called in his first stop of the day.
Now the question is whether Pathman's going to play the team game, let up a little bit to get Tez rehooked in on that DRS, or whether he's going to push away. It looks like he's lifting.
Yeah, he does seem to be lifting a little.
Blackbird gets a time penalty for
Aw.
speeding in the pit lane.
That 20 kilometers an hour difference seems to be really catching up people, especially as you said, the racing line being completely wrong heading into the pits. Now, it's going to be a strategy game for the McLarens. Do they pit now? Do they keep going?
I think Tez has told Pathman just to go.
Yeah.
It does look like Tez doesn't have the pace.
And I actually do think that those clouds have gone even darker since we last talked about it.
That's the question, isn't it? Are some of the cars on those mediums going to try and dare it to stay out for some rain? I said it looked like Ruprath was driving angry. He took a good 4 or 5 tenths out of Civic after he rejoined the track, but then he sort of hovered around this 1.4 second window behind him. Does look like he's closing it up a little now, but maybe the tyres were just a little overheated and he didn't have the traction.
Yeah. Let's see where his tyres are at. His tyres are the same tyres he started with. He hasn't pitted yet. 13 not hold tyres.
A Red Bull round, that looks like it's Delta.
Oof. Not a fun race for Delta Hunter. But he has got it back on track, and he is still in the points for the time being. Those penalties may come into play. There we go. Any close? A lot of the everyone seems to be a few seconds apart here. There's no battles at the moment. It's a bit of a.
Civic just had a little bit of an issue under traction, a little bit of a swap at the start of the Wellington Straight. So that does look like it's allowed Ruprath to close right onto the bubble of that DRS window. So if we're talking 30 seconds for a pit stop, what does that mean right now? Let's switch on my end to a from leader, if this thing would cooperate with me. Ah dear. There we go. So Callum now is right on the bubble of where Pathman would come out of the pits. So what does that mean? Civic would drop to about P6 behind Madster. Ruprath, similar, be somewhere between Madster and Jamie. Pathman and Tez would both be right on the bubble of Callum. So there are still 2 races going on here, but obviously Pathman and Tez and Ruprath having pitted that much later onto the better, let's say, rubber of the medium will likely enjoy themselves.
And if they get a safety car or anything,
that's Pathman round.
He seems to have gone back onto track, but he's definitely going to lose a lot of time down this the Wellington Straight here.
Looks like it's stabilised towards the ends of
Civic.
it.
He's already 5 seconds down the road to his teammate.
Civic is running a lot of curbs for someone who runs their tyres late. He's the tyre whisperer from Kota.
Who did end up getting a podium after penalties were said and done. So
I believe there's still an outstanding appeal, but yes, at the moment.
Blackbird spun around in Mackens and Beckett's, I believe.
That's Delta round again. He's going to have to wait. He has to wait. Oh, that is going to be pain.
Oh,
he's managed to get it around.
And spinning. And yeah, oh no, everyone's getting the time penalties at the moment. And the Civic is right on the back. Oh, nice defending move there by Pathman just at the last second.
Surely he's got to dive in soon.
Civic? Yeah.
Is he trying a medium soft?
I don't know if that is really viable. Like
I'm going to stay on board with Ruprath because I'm on puncture watch now.
There are 3 drivers on 60 or 4 drivers on 16 lap tires. No stops made. Jamie on the
one of those is
laps.
mediums though.
One of those Civic is on the mediums, but he is also right on the tail of Pathman still. He's still in that DRS.
It is looking a bit cloudy, Quimby. I agree.
Blackbird with the fastest lap of the race, bound in P8 on those fresh softs, of course, and a lighter fuel than those who started the race on softs.
Those softs won't make it to the end, I don't think.
No. They'll start going around lap 23.
Yeah, that's 12 laps on softs. Fuki's might. If they're expecting rain, I would expect Civic to avoid the risk of a puncture and box in the next couple of laps for softs, just to minimise the damage of that late stop as much as possible. So he goes a little bit deep there in the braking zone. Delta's gone around again in Sector 2. Renovation time penalty.
Let's take a look at those time penalties at the moment. Blackburn and Renovation both on 8 seconds. EAG on 3, Delta on 12, and Fuki on 3 at the back there. But Civic is also on 3 seconds there at the front of the pack. And that may come very much into play here. To be yellow flag.
That's just Delta getting out of the way of faster drivers. I was on board with it. It's in Sector 3. It looks like he might have spun.
Yeah.
He has overheated those rear tyres and he's not letting them calm down enough before he puts another load through them. Madster is right on the back of Callum though.
He is, yeah. Just jumped on board with him in that number 56 Ferrari. Different to the usual 55. But, he has that DRS on Callum, but he doesn't seem to be getting close enough to actually make a move at the moment. As we are finally green flags in second.
Quimby, I think Angelo has made it his thing to drive the tyres as long as possible and roll the dice.
Yeah. It has worked once
his
before.
Faith in luck is impressive. Though obviously, if anyone's not aware, the way it works is once you pass 75%, every curb you touch, every traction zone is a dice roll. And depending on the surface you're on, as Ruprath of all people pits, is there rain out there?
We will see. Let's go on board with what their tyres and let's see what they pit onto.
Bold strategy.
Ooh, I'm just staring at the leaderboard right now, just waiting for it to change. Soft's tyres. 7 laps remaining. He may actually manage it.
Guess that's where Tez and Pathman are going to go as well.
He will come out in P6, splitting the 2 Ferraris. Yep, Tez and Pathman do need to pit very soon. Tez actually keeping that gap to his teammate at that 5 seconds.
Quimby, I don't believe there was a wing change there for Ruprath. It's just a slow pit lane.
Sorry?
Sorry, Quimby said in the chat, long time in pits, did he have damage to fix? The bit of the pit stop that I spectated, there was no wing change, but it's just takes a wee while. Maybe he forgot to release the clutch.
Well, let's see here. Does Tez come into the pits? He does seem. Yep, Tez is jumping into the pits.
Do not get a speeding pen.
Yeah, he.
Very safe.
And Pathman, they're trying to double stack.
The line.
They are trying to double stack here. They have about a 5-second gap.
Stays out again.
Civic.
See if the double stack works. Sit on board with Pathman.
Yep, I'm right on board here. There's a tiny bit of a wait, maybe 0.2 of a second of a wait. But they may have pulled it off. On those soft tires to go 6 laps. Those will be fast for 6 laps.
Whether Callum's going to make it past either of them on the way out. I think Tez will get away with it, but I think Pathman will be taken. Yeah, Callum is right on the gearbox of Tez on his hards.
Well, Matza is actually... and a lot of people have gone... Oh, that's unfortunate now for Pathman. His teammate comes out in P2, but he comes out in P6, and they were only a few seconds off each other.
Callum does get past Tez.
Yeah, Those are some really cold tires at the moment.
I think Tez will just bide his time and take it back. Is that rain?
I don't know. Let's go on board. That is...
Yeah, in Luffield. At the entrance to Luffield. The Red Bull's going to be the next cut. Yeah, it is rain. Rain on the Wellington Straight and into Luffield.
Ooh. Civic might have pulled a masterclass here if he jumps in for some intermediates, perhaps.
It all depends on how quickly that rain comes down.
Rain settles. He is staying out. He is taking these mediums to
20 laps on mediums. If these don't puncture, I am going to be asking Cody's questions about whether you actually can get punctures anymore.
And Tez has taken that position back from Callum down the Hanger Straight. And Patman does actually, he is only 1 lap fresher than Ruprat, so they're essentially on equal footing right now. As Ruprat sets the fastest time of the race.
That's all a ticking clock. How quick does the track get damp?
Yeah, there's only 5 laps remaining now. Is it worth it? And there is rain on the camera lens, so definitely coming down a bit
It's not
thicker.
on the halo yet, though.
No.
Civic's got a puncture. Civic's got a puncture. I think. I don't know. I'm on the back marker.
Yeah, I can see that. That is 100% a puncture. Oh, he's gone way off track.
Yeah, and I was trying to spot it from quite a ways back.
And he's kept it straight. Oh. He has rolled the dice 1 lap too often.
Is that both left side tyres? Let's get on board with Tez and see what happens as he gets up to him.
He's going to have to try and get through Maggots and Beckett's and the Hanger Straight to get to the pits. On 3 tires.
Yeah, it looks like a double left side
and Delta
puncture.
has pitted for the intermediates. And Tez just glides past them. Is that both of the tires gone? 2 tires?
It's both on the left hand side, I believe.
Yeah. And Mazda gets past him.
No, just the one. Just the front left. The one which I said would cry.
Mm-hmm. Even Patman is barreling down on him as well. He'll definitely have the pit now, but Tez in a very good position at the moment. Fresh softs. Only 4 laps
remaining. He's going to get a speeding pen if he's not careful. Civic just getting it slowed down into the pit lane.
Ruppert and Mazda going side by side into the first corner. Oh, that was very tight as a touch of grass on the left hand side of the Haas's tyres as well. Ruffrat does go into the podium positions. And Callum as well, a kind of underrated performance at the moment. P4 in qualifying and P2 at the moment.
Whether these dry runners can hold on.
To Civic on the intermediates at the moment. He's decided to roll the dice once more.
Yeah, I'm monitoring the gap to leader, so I'll let you know if Civic's making significant inroads.
I'm trying to decide who to jump on board here. Let's jump on board with Rupprat as he chases down Callum in those 12-lap-old hard compound. Civic does seem to be, just by looking at his times there, he does seem to be making up a bit of time to Renovatio in front.
Yeah, but to the leaders, he's only matching, if not losing time through. Even Luffield at the moment, he's losing time to the leaders.
Yeah.
Track's not quite ready for those inter tyres.
Rupprat is now within that DRS of Callum. He won't get it, of course, down the Hamilton Straight, but he will get it down the Wellington Straight. And with, what's that, 4 laps remaining? 3, 4, 5, 6. For 4 laps remaining. Callum has a lot of defending to do here as the rain is still coming down. Oh, that's a bit of a... Rupprat spun slightly.
That is optimistic at the best.
Very optimistic at the worst. And now he has lost that time and he is outside that DRS zone that he would have had down the Wellington Straight. Ooh.
Meanwhile, Civic is still losing time effective.
Blackbird has pitted very late to go onto the intermediates. So it may be that he is actually losing a lot of grip now due to a bit of rain settlement. Rockpath has already gotten into that DRS range. He's only 6/10 now, and that is that's Civic round.
Apologies.
That is Civic round. Through I do not know the name of the corner. Apologies, but he did go round right into the.
Is it the one at the start of the Wellington Straight? That's Chapel.
Also seems to have had a
Farm.
moment. And Patman and Massa both have gone past. Safety car.
That's a safety car. Safety car.
Oh, what happened there? Delta. What happened to Delta?
That is going to be interesting. What are the guys going to do? Are they going to go for those inters, or are they not?
I'm just going to jump on board here with Tez.
Tez has made it back to the safety car.
Yeah.
Still on his softs. Surely the safety car is only going to be out for this lap.
It's a 2-lap minimum. That's the thing.
Is it? Even when there's only 2 laps to the end? I could have sworn they leave you with at least...
Well, we will see. There's 2 rules conflicting. We'll see which one wins out.
Well, Codemasters, what's the call? As Mazda comes in for fresh softs and Jamie's in for fresh softs.
Ooh, so perhaps not wet enough if they're planning on going onto some slicks till the end. Well, they'll only have 1 or 2 laps to actually go for it. Renovation into P4 after
8
sending
seconds
from
penalties. That's gonna.
That will cost them big time.
If I was in Renovation seat, I would have pitted because you'd taken 5 seconds of those penalties off.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, unless the safety car comes in at the end of this lap, he is going to be screwed by that. But if it does get significantly wet, Quimby's saying they had it in Xbox earlier this season, 2 green flag laps. So that does mean the safety car will be in at the end of this lap.
Yep,
yes, there we go.
Given by race control, so that means the top 3
may well have been saved.
The top 3 are still.
But here's the thing: Ted wants to go as soon as he physically can, because he just doesn't want the rest of that pack to catch up, and he wants to tiptoe around on these tyres and get going.
Let's go on to the tyres again there. 4-lap old softs are still in good nick, I would say.
Versus Callum's 14-lap old hards.
If anything, it's kind of screwed Callum now because Blackburn is retired from the session. He seems to have gone into the wall outside of cops, but there won't be any safety car for that.
And critically, there's no DRS to the end of the race. We don't have enough laps left of the race for the DRS to be activated.
So Patman's going to want to get past Callum on, oh, excuse me, pure pace alone. I am sneezing up a storm here. That rain is also coming down a storm. Still, as they're tiptoeing through turns there. Patman definitely a bit slow out of that corner there.
You can see at the end of the Wellington Straight, the surface texture has changed. So traction down the Wellington Straight is going to be interesting now.
Yeah. Let's see who can hold on and who can get that traction and still actually defend in these conditions. These very mixed conditions.
So, with that safety car coming in so quickly, it does mean Renovatio has an opportunity to hold on to P7 as it stands. He's currently on the bubble of losing that place to Jamie.
Which would be very impressive from starting from the back of the grid with no qualifying.
Starting from the back of the grid with a headache. I think the Mercedes boys should be thanking him profusely as Callum gets a little bit of a swapper.
Yeah. No DRS, but Patman has a lot of battery. He may be saving it for the final lap of the race just to go full battery.
Everyone has lots of battery here. It's a 2-lap run after the safety car. They're all going to be fully charged. You just need to bin as much of it as you can as quickly as you can, to be completely honest. But it does look like our Div 4 champion is on for a win.
Yes, Tez, his first win on no assists.
Commentator's curse though, I bet he bins it now. It's wet, isn't it?
Hopefully we didn't jinx it. Oh, Batman definitely struggling on those softs a little bit. Ooh.
Oh, almost loses it.
think Canon may actually be benefiting from the hard tires. They're just keeping him that tiny bit of more traction. Well, Renovation's going down the order.
He yielded. He yielded to Madster, who was behind on the softs, but then Madster got taken by Ruprath, who did opt for those intermediates, and it looks like the intermediates are finally the faster tyre, but it's just too little too late. He's 7 seconds behind the lead.
Yeah, definitely. Just the rain came too late for the optimists in the race on the grid.
Time is peeling off though, rapidly. A full second's come out of that already.
Ooh.
And Callum is again struggling through Maggots and Beckett's.
Now, will Patman get the run on him through the last sector of the race? That red flashing light.
Go for it, give us something to talk about.
Oh.
Callum parks it perfectly.
Very, very nicely defending there from Callum. He's going to have one last chance.
No, he doesn't want the opportunity for a 5-second penalty there, I don't think.
Oh, he might actually try it. There could have been nearly wheel to wheel going across the line as Tez wins the British Grand Prix and Callum does keep P2 and Patman makes it a 1-3 for McLaren on that podium. Ruffrat finishes in P4. Renovation unserved penalty. That's going to push him way down the grid once everyone finishes. Mazda and Jamie, a very nice showing by the Ferrari boys. A 5-6. Good teamwork by them this evening.
And Iag, by virtue of finishing, though significantly down, should bring home the final point. We are going to have to wait a little while for him to make it round. He's on those hard tyres.
Let's give him a bit of broadcast time. His first race back in FRS. Our Div 5 champion from last year. Getting his first point in the new season.
I believe Fuki's a lap down compared to Iag, so Fuki should finish the moment he crosses the line, and that means Iag doesn't actually need to finish his lap.
Yep, Fuki has the checkered flag. Iag still going around now. He's taking it nice and calm here. He knows he has that final point in the bag. Very nicely done by the Brazilian. And there is the checkered flag, and there is all of our drivers across the line. What a race. I actually really enjoyed that racing. Tez with the driver of the day by the game. I can't say I disagree. He did very well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to disagree purely because I feel like if two McLaren drivers give a McLaren driver of the day, people will raise eyebrows. I'm actually going to give it to Callum because he held on those incredibly old hards in that last stint to at least keep one of the McLarens behind.
Yeah, I'd actually have to agree with you because he had a very good qualifying in P4, and to go up 2 places there onto the podium into P2, yeah, very, very good drive by the AlphaTauri, man. Ooh, and I'm unfortunately going to have to skip through the podium giving there. Tez, of course, our winner for this evening. Callum and Patman rounding out the podium. Rupprat, Mazda, Jamie, Civic, Renovatio, Brad Spit, and Iag rounding out the points, and Fuki and Blackbird rounding out the rest of the grid. Delta, of course, being our only DNF of the day. So we just make sure we get all of everyone's times on the stream, and then we're just going to quickly go on to the race director, just for our coordinators' convenience.
Pause when you see the bit you want. Keep scrubbing. Faster, faster, faster. Make it difficult. Ah.
There we go. I think that's good enough. So,
well, it's been a pleasure as always.
Thank you very much for joining me.
Looks like the Div 3 McLaren showing us how to get a double podium.
Ooh. Yes. At least one of us got it.
Just have to try the Acon strat again another day, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for joining me, Space Ghost, and thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us and supporting the championship. It's been a very nice season so far. And I believe we're at around the halfway stage, maybe just over it.
We are. This is round 5, so literally the halfway point. We've got one more round before the break week, so it'll be Miami, I believe, that we're heading to next.
Well, I unfortunately won't be joining you next week. I am in Monza for the actual F1 racing, but I'm sure Space Ghost can entertain you with his dulcet tones.
All good. Thank you as always, Squids, and I'll see you next. Oh wait, will I see you next week? Sorry, did you just say you won't be here next week?
No, that won't be for next week.
Sorry, I was reading a message from one of the drivers. Apologies. In that case, I'm going to go and try and find a co-commentator. And with that, I will see you in round 7, I guess then, which will be in 3 weeks' time.
Alright, good luck everyone. Thank you very much for joining, and cheers.